Before narrating the Battle of Badr, the story of the Muslims' courage and faith, we sincerely request all of you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel and kindly like, comment on, and share our videos. Let's start the video. Do you know how the Muslims won their first major battle against the powerful Quraysh of Mecca? It was on a fateful day in March 624 CE, near a place called Badr in Saudi Arabia. This was the day when Allah showed His mercy and guidance to the believers, and helped them defeat their enemies with a smaller and weaker army. This was the day that changed the course of Islamic history, and became known as the Day of the Criterion in the Quran. Imagine being outnumbered and outmatched by your enemies, who want to destroy you and your faith. Imagine having to leave your home and your belongings behind, and seek refuge in a new city. Imagine having only one chance to strike back at your oppressors, by raiding their rich caravan on its way back from Syria. This was the situation of the Muslims in Medina, who had followed Hazrat Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from Mecca 2 years before. They had only 313 men, mostly poor, and the muhajirun, the emigrants from Mecca, and the ansar, the helpers from Medina. They had only 2 horses and 70 camels, and they had no match for the Meccans' weapons and armor. But they had something that the Meccans did not have. They had Allah's revelation and promise that they should attack the caravan, led by Abu Sufyan, one of the most influential leaders of the Quraysh. What would you do if you faced an army that was 3 times bigger and better than yours? What if they were led by your worst enemy, who hated you and your faith? What if they had the most powerful and wealthy people of your tribe, who wanted to wipe you out from the face of the earth? This was the challenge that the Muslims had to face, when Abu Sufyan, the leader of the Meccan caravan, sent a message to Mecca for help. The Quraysh did not hesitate to send an army of 950 men, led by Abu Jahl, the most arrogant and cruel enemy of Hazrat Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Meccan army had some of the most famous and influential people of the Quraysh, such as Utbah ibn Rabi'ah, Umayyah ibn Khalaf, Shaybah ibn Rabi'ah, Walid ibn Utbah and Uqbah ibn Abi Muwayt. They were sure of their victory and eager to end the Muslim threat once and for all. How would you feel if you had to face your enemies in a barren desert, with no water or shade? How would you prepare for the battle of your life, with only a few hundred men by your side? This was the situation of the Muslims at Badr, a famous oasis in the desert. They had a strategic advantage over the Meccans, as they occupied the wells and blocked their access to water. Hazrat Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, asked his companions for their opinion, and they agreed to follow his command. He then prayed to Allah for help and inspired his men to fight with courage. He also assigned some of his companions as leaders of different groups, such as Ali ibn Abi Talib, radiyallahu anhu, Zubair ibn al-Awwam, radiyallahu anhu, al-Miqdad ibn al-Aswad, radiyallahu anhu, Hamza ibn Abdul al-Muttalib, radiyallahu anhu, Umar ibn al-Khattab, radiyallahu anhu, Ubaidah ibn al-Harith, radiyallahu anhu, Bilal ibn Rabah al-Habashi, radiyallahu anhu, and others. What if you had to face 3 of the best warriors of your enemy in a one-on-one fight? What if you defeated them with ease, and gave your army a boost of confidence? What if you then attacked your enemy with full force, and saw them crumble under your pressure? This was the scene of the battle at Badr, where the Muslims showed their strength and faith. The Meccans were shocked by the Muslims' bravery and resolve, and they could not stand their ground. The Muslims fought with the belief that Allah was with them, and they had the support of angels. The Meccans ran away in fear and confusion, leaving many of their dead and injured behind. Some of them were taken prisoner by the Muslims, while others escaped. How would you feel if you won a battle that changed the course of history? How would you celebrate if you killed and captured some of the most powerful and hostile people of your enemy? How would you enjoy if you took a large amount of wealth and resources from your enemy? This was the outcome of the battle at Badr, where the Muslims achieved a decisive victory over the Meccans. They killed 70 Meccans and took another 70 as prisoners. Among the dead were some of the most notorious leaders and foes of Islam, such as Abu Jahl, Utbah ibn Rabi'ah, Umayyah ibn Khalaf, Shaybah ibn Rabi'ah, Walid ibn Utbah, Uqbah ibn Abi Muwayt, and others. They also seized a lot of booty from the caravan and the Meccan army. The Muslims only lost 14 men, 6 from the muhajirun, the emigrants from Mecca, and 8 from the ansar, the helpers from Medina. What if you won a battle that changed the course of history? What if you proved yourself as a force to be reckoned with against the most powerful tribe in Mecca? What if you strengthened your confidence and faith in Allah's promise and Hazrat Muhammad's, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, prophethood? What if you fulfilled some of Hazrat Muhammad's, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, prophecies about the battle and your enemy's destiny? This was the impact of the battle at Badr, where the Muslims made a lasting impression on the world. They showed their courage and faith in Allah, and earned the respect and admiration of their allies from Medina. They also showed their mercy and justice towards their prisoners and their foes. The battle also sparked more hatred and anger from the Meccans, who swore to take revenge and restore their pride. This led to more conflicts and wars between the Muslims and the Meccans, such as the Battle of Uhud, the Battle of the Trench, and the conquest of Mecca. How would you feel if you came back from a battle with great joy and gratitude to Allah for your victory? How would you share the wealth and resources that you had taken from your enemy? How would you treat the prisoners that you had captured with mercy and justice? This was the aftermath of the battle at Badr, where the Muslims returned to Medina with happiness and thankfulness to Allah. They also divided the booty they had obtained from the caravan and the Meccan army according to the rules that Hazrat Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, had set. The captives were treated with kindness and fairness, and some of them were freed after paying a ransom or teaching some Muslims how to read and write. Some of the captives also accepted Islam after seeing the faith and character of the Muslims. How would you feel if you lost a battle that shattered your pride and honor? How would you bury your dead and mourn your losses? How would you plan to take revenge on your enemy, and prepare for another war? This was the aftermath of the battle at Badr, where the Meccans were stunned and humiliated by their defeat. They buried their dead in a mass grave near Badr, and swore to avenge them. They also started to spread lies and propaganda about the battle, claiming that they had actually won or that the Muslims had cheated or used magic. They also tried to weaken the morale and unity of the Muslims by sending letters and emissaries to Medina, offering bribes, threats, or promises. What if you won a battle that changed the course of history? What if you proved yourself as a force to be reckoned with against the most powerful tribe in Mecca? What if you strengthened your confidence and faith in Allah's promise and Hazrat Muhammad's, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, prophecies? What if you fulfilled some of Hazrat Muhammad's, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, prophecies about the battle and your enemy's destiny, such as the death of Abu Jahl, the capture of Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt, and the victory of the Muslims despite their numerical inferiority? This was the impact of the battle at Badr, where the Muslims made a lasting impression on the world. They showed their courage and faith in Allah, and earned the respect and admiration of their allies from Medina. They also showed their mercy and justice towards their prisoners and their foes. How would you feel if you learned from a battle that inspired and guided you in your struggles and challenges? How would you benefit from a battle that taught you to trust in Allah's promise and help, to obey His commands and His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to fight for His cause with courage and sincerity? To be merciful and just towards your enemies, to be grateful and humble for your blessings, and to be patient and steadfast in your trials? This was the lesson of the battle at Badr, where the Muslims learned from their experience and example. They showed their trust and obedience in Allah, and received His mercy and justice. They also showed their unity and brotherhood among themselves, regardless of their tribal or racial differences. They also showed their value of knowledge and education, as some of the captives were freed in exchange for teaching some Muslims how to read and write. How do you celebrate a battle that changed the course of history? How do you honor the early Muslims who fought in the battle with gratitude and celebration? How do you remember and reflect on their sacrifices and achievements? How do you pray and supplicate for Allah's mercy and guidance for the Muslims in their present and future endeavors? How do you learn and teach about the history and lessons of Islam? This is the commemoration of the battle at Badr, where the Muslims celebrate their victory and legacy. They honor the early Muslims who fought in the battle with gratitude and celebration. They remember and reflect on their sacrifices and achievements. They pray and supplicate for Allah's mercy and guidance for the Muslims in their present and future endeavors. They learn and teach about the history and lessons of Islam. Thank you for watching. Your subscription means a lot to us. Please visit our channel to access valuable information about Islam. Engage with the content by liking, commenting, and sharing your thoughts on the videos. If you find the content useful, please share it with your friends and family who might also benefit from it.